Prosecutor DJ Hilson, from the Senator John Bumstead's office, Susan Rodriguez. And turning it over, our architect at Progressive A&E, Ken Branson and Jim Horn. John Reiser, Owner's Rep, Construction Simplified, Brent Gibson and Jeff Solowitz. Our construction manager here as well, Clark Construction, and Dan Court here and Jim Weber. And also the staff of the City of Muskegon, the ones I've seen here, there's probably more here. Obviously, City Manager Frank Peterson, Leanne Mikesell, Leo Evans, and Mike Franzik. So welcome everybody, and for that group of team, we have put this convention center in front of us today. So the first guest speaker today is our chairman, Susie Hughes.
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to thank all of you for joining this celebration of Muskegon. Today we break ground on what was one time described as a marshy river or swamp. That's what the Ottawa Indians saw and named Muskegon for when they settled here. Settlers soon created a fur trading post that became successful. Then the boom of the lumber era was upon us, and it was regarded the most romantic era of history in our area. Lumbering in the mid-19th century brought many settlers to Muskegon. We became a town of lumber barons and baronesses with our own Actor and vaudeville colonies. Then we became a factory town, and many challenges ensued. From a mall downtown to an empty pile of rubble. We now have finally admitted to ourselves who we actually are. We are, and our downtown is, and has blossomed and settled into a city of very friendly people and thriving communities with unique characteristics. But first and foremost, we are a community of beautiful, welcoming freshwater beaches and everything they bring with them. We finally found ourselves, and we can't wait to share the beauty, diversity, uniqueness, and culture we have here. Here in our downtown today, we break ground for a convention center that allows Muskegon to share not only our beauty, but our world-class culture, museums, restaurants, bars, pubs, and beautiful white sand beaches, and a variety of freshwater fun with convention goers. Muskegon offers so much for our visitors. They may want to stay longer and enjoy our unique community, fabulous flora and fauna, our parks, boating, fishing, swimming, parasailing, and more in this freshwater paradise. Walking distance from our new convention center is first-class dining, our own first-class breweries, farmers market, vendor chalets, museums, sports arenas, bike trails, and paths. We have great tributes to our veterans. We have parks, museums, the USS Silversides Museum with their submarine docked outside the beautiful channel where Muskegon and Lake Michigan come together. And right down here, walking distance from our new convention center, is the LST on Muskegon Lake. As chairman of the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners, I take this opportunity on behalf of Muskegon County to celebrate this groundbreaking of the convention center and look forward to welcoming convention goers as they enjoy all the great opportunities Muskegon has to offer during their visit here. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hughes. Our next speaker is our mayor here of the City of Muskegon, Mayor Garwin.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. You know, I've never subscribed to if you build it, they will come. In this instance, I believe we're building it because they are coming. In the past several years, and if it's any indication, and I think Mr. Lukens will back me up on this, the number of groups and events have grown to an extent that I have to turn down invites to speak at welcomings because I can't get off the day job. They are coming, and we do need this place to welcome them in. I believe the big, little, incremental projects we've brought forth to create a wonderful sense of place called Muskegon have provided the appeal to draw folks in. As Susie was saying, the farmers market, the Western market shops, the eateries and public houses, known as breweries, distilleries, bars, coffee houses, sports facilities, that one. The arts and historic sites, academic presence, our neighborhood building initiatives, all putting a cherry on the top of our grand dessert, the lakes and the shoreline. I should mention cruise ships too, shouldn't I? Yeah. All this creating a place we love to live, and one that many are coming to because they love to visit. We've gotten here today because of our experience over the past years of collaboration among the private sector, the public sector, and the nonprofit sector. Not just institutions or businesses, not just those institutional concerns, but the people representing those institutions and organizations who have a drive to make Muskegon the best place possible, first and foremost for our residents to live and enjoy, with the opportunity to invite in the wider world and shower our guests with world-class hospitality. For all you involved in this enterprise and all the great work going on throughout Greater Muskegon and the county, thank you for your grand vision and efforts that I know we all hope will add to the energy of this vibrant city, this vibrant Greater Muskegon, and this vibrant Muskegon County. Thank you very much, folks, for coming out.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next speaker is Parkland Properties, John Rooks. If you could step forward.
Thank you, Mark. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody who made time in their busy schedule today to come out in the cold and celebrate this great event. This means a lot to everyone involved, and I can say that everyone who's spoken so far and everyone who's involved in this project is working very, very hard on it, so we appreciate your support. My name's John Rooks. I'm the owner of Parkland Properties, and as a company, we first began investing in Muskegon about 10 years ago, actually in April of 2009, when we acquired the Shoreline Inn and the Conference Center next to it, and the neighboring restaurant and the marina. And since then, we've remodeled the hotel and we've reinvented our restaurant into the Lake House Waterfront Grill and Event Center, and then we acquired and rebranded this hotel, the Holiday Inn, built in 1986, and it will soon operate as a Delta by Marriott. Along the way, we've also taken on a housing initiative where we've purchased the former Hackley Bank building and turned it into High Point Flats with 47 apartments that are occupied now and 3 floors of rented retail space that's under construction. And then our final phase of a 70 home site community on Muskegon Lake known as Terrace Point Landing is underway. And then we did some office buildings like the Firehouse and the Horizon building in Muskegon. But safe to say we're very invested in Muskegon. We love investing here, and we're excited about what's happening here. When I look at all of the incredible things that are going on in Muskegon, I'm just humbled to be a part of it. It's extremely rare that you can find a community with not only great and forward city staff and city commissioners and county staff and county commissioners, but also a philanthropic community and a business leadership community, but everyday people as well that are committed to pushing the area forward and being leaders all in their own way. All across Muskegon and West Michigan, people post "Watch Us Go" flags and stickers on their car and banners and billboards, and everybody's standing proud. And we all are buying into the idea of what Muskegon is and can be, and others are taking watch, knowing that every year is going to be a better year than it was last year. Our company was heavily involved in the redevelopment of Grand Rapids, and I saw what happened there. We developed 60% of the downtown condominiums that are there today in the early 2000s. Grand Rapids did a great job of creating an entertainment district downtown. Muskegon is doing the same thing. This district creates an interest in visitors, it creates an interest for investors, it increases an interest for developers and companies like mine who are able to develop projects in Grand Rapids. We did hundreds of condominium units to meet that demand. The influx of people downtown encourage and support new investments in businesses and restaurants and bars and other entertainment venues, which bring people downtown, and onward it goes. This cycle is being seen today in Grand Rapids and continues. It doesn't go backwards, and it's parallel to what we're seeing in Muskegon. In the last 3 years in our projects alone, we've been able to bring almost 200 full-time residences to Muskegon. And since 2009, when we originally acquired the Shoreline Inn, we have been able to increase visitors from 45,000 to 125,000 annually. Our success would not be possible without the actions of community leaders that are helping make Muskegon a place to not only want to visit, but a place to live as well. People want to live downtown, they want to live here year-round. Over the last few years, we've witnessed Western transform from the remains of the Muskegon Mall into a bustling downtown district. There's people on the sidewalks, and every day we're hearing about new things that are happening, and it keeps us excited to come to work. No one can doubt that Muskegon is heading in the right direction, and as a company, we've tried to place an emphasis on how we can keep Muskegon moving in that direction. Over the last several years, we invested considerable resources in collaboration with the city and county's efforts to try to encourage more full-time residents and more visitors in the off-season when our businesses need it most. This is the time between Labor Day and Memorial Day, when there historically hasn't been as much demand as the summer. We view the convention center as another step in these efforts to make Muskegon a year-round place to work and live, and we view it as a pivotal and important moment for Muskegon. That's why we've agreed to do 4 major things to make that happen. The first thing we did is we agreed to upgrade our Holiday Inn, built in 1986 and not renovated in over 10 years, to an upscale flag, which involved using $6 million of our own money without any tax credits to renovate and rebrand, and another $2 million for repairs and maintenance. Next month, the Holiday Inn will be opening on June 4 as a new Delta by Marriott, which is the fastest growing chain in the country by Marriott International. Thank you. The second thing we did is we agreed to donate the additional land next to this 4th Street corridor behind us in order to create a buildable site necessary for the convention center. The third thing was we agreed to cover all deficits and absorb any losses from the operations of the convention center. For example, in Port Huron, they have a different situation and they have to absorb their own losses, but we're going to make up for it by absorbing those losses with our additional room revenue generated in our 2 downtown hotels. Fourth thing we're doing, and probably the most important thing we're doing, is we agreed to voluntarily self-assess an additional room tax on our 340 downtown hotel rooms 365 days a year to provide for the bond payments to fund the convention center. That way, no resident tax dollars are involved. That's how important we believe the convention center is for our community and the community's future, and we're glad to do our part to make it a reality. The convention center will not only keep our community on the radar of businesses and organizations through the state, but it will drive visitors to our area during our shoulder seasons and ultimately help keep Muskegon's momentum moving forward. It will be the newest convention center, while the East Michigan market has had over a dozen. So it's a desperately needed convention center, and it will be modern, hip, and popular. The term we use in development is impact investing, or creating projects that serve as a catalyst for the surrounding community. We view the convention center investment as one that will have ripple effects throughout Muskegon for decades to come. Studies show that initially it will have a $10.6 million spin-off economic impact annually. That's a huge rate of return. We all hear it all of the time. Many of our hotel guests don't know how much there is to enjoy in this area until they visit and they fall in love with it. The convention center will bring lots of first-time visitors that will come back in return and appreciate the area as much as we do. The convention center is something that's been talked about for decades, as many have said before, but with the help of city and county leaders, with courage and with insight and foresight and some room accommodations taxes from our hotel guests, it's finally a reality. We're happy to be part of this tremendous accomplishment, and we look forward to seeing everybody at the opening ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Very much appreciated. Next guest speaker is the Muskegon Lakeshore Chamber Board Chair, Tom Schultz.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the Muskegon Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, all of the staff, some of who I see here today, and the over 1,250 member company and organizations, I want to start with number one, a congratulations, and number two, a thank you. A thank you to the leadership from the county, a thank you to the leadership from the city, and a thank you to John Rooks and the people, his entire team at Parkham Properties, for making this convention center a reality. All of us at the Chamber are extremely excited about the estimated $10 million in economic impact and the jobs that are going to be generated when the convention center opens. Jobs such as hotel workers, caterers, florists, I see ready rentals, so the list goes on, jobs initially that will be impacted and should grow over time. We're equally excited about the new people that are going to be coming to the Muskegon area to take part in the conventions, as John just mentioned. People that will get to experience firsthand what all of us know is a hidden gem on the lakeshore. And then also, the new convention center will prove to be a gathering place for the Muskegon residents as they attend events and special occasions that will be held at the convention center. But first and foremost, it will be a convention center, and it will be designed to bring new business and new people to the Muskegon area that will add to the vibrancy and the success of our local economy. In closing, I'd just like to add that prior to coming back to Muskegon in 2002, I spent 12 years in Grand Rapids, and I had the opportunity in 2001 to be the chair of the Kent County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board of Directors. And it was at the exact same time that we are here in the development of the DeVos Convention Center. All of us know what the DeVos Convention Center and the Van Andel Arena did to reshape the greater Grand Rapids area. All of us at the convention center, or at the Muskegon Chamber, are excited to see the convention center open, and we're very optimistic that the same thing is going to happen in Muskegon. That not only will there be jobs, but there will be increased economic activity throughout the greater Muskegon area. Initially, just in the downtown area, the focus will be, but we'll expand to all communities throughout Muskegon County. Communities such as Roosevelt Park, Norton Shores, Fruitport, Muskegon Heights, even our friends from Whitehall and Montague. I see Amy here. So all of Muskegon County. So we want to applaud and once again thank everyone that was involved in bringing this new convention center to reality. And we look forward to the benefits it's going to provide to the Muskegon area for many, many years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Our last speaker really doesn't need an introduction. Community Development Director, Bob Wickens.
Thanks, Mark. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out. This is a great day in Muskegon and Muskegon County. You know, this has been a long time coming. Since the time I walked through the door almost 8 years ago, we've been talking about a convention center, and everyone said then that, oh yeah, for about 2 decades before that, we've been talking about it too. So it's finally here, and we're excited about it. About 4.5 years ago, the community received the results of a study examining the feasibility of locating a convention center in downtown Muskegon. The study determined that a public-private partnership to build a correctly sized convention center located adjacent to a full-service hotel would allow our community to attract a larger segment of the meeting, conference, and convention market. The study also determined that meeting planners across the association, government, healthcare, education, and social services markets were looking for new meeting venues in Michigan, West Michigan. During this time, Visit Muskegon was in the process of building its sales department to focus on the meetings and conventions and group tour markets. And we knew almost immediately that the biggest obstacle facing the community was lack of a large meeting space. Planners said they would love to bring their meetings and events to Muskegon, but the space just wasn't large enough to accommodate their groups. So the study validated that a convention center in Muskegon would open up new markets, provide new jobs for the community, and help stimulate economic growth, not only in the downtown area, but in other commercial districts throughout the county. And today, the real work begins. The process of relocating utilities and mechanical systems will clear the way for the new facility. In about a month, the street will be closed and work will begin on the foundations for the building, which is located right in the heart of the city and will connect three very important and visible downtown properties: the new Delta by Marriott, the convention center itself, and the renovated L.C. Walker Arena behind me, which is already creating excitement and bringing new visitors to our community. By the first quarter of 2021, the new convention center will be operating, and we will be welcoming new groups to our community. Visit Muskegon is excited to be part of that project that will help grow our region and increase our visibility as a visitor destination. There are other projects on the horizon that will continue the growth and momentum of Muskegon County and in Muskegon County, and we want to thank you all for being part of the great things happening here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate that. Now if I could have the commissioners from the city as well as the county stand over here by the shovels, the speakers, also the construction Clark Construction, Construction Simplified. If you could all come stand back here by the shovels. Is Progressive A&E back here as well?